That's what entrepreneurs do. We fail so often. I am fantastic at failing. I fail all the time. We have to fail all the time because on average, entrepreneurs fail 9 or 8 times to every one success. So if we live in a world where we're always failing, we have to change our relationship with failure. And I start with failure because it is one of the most critical elements of being a successful entrepreneur, your relationship with failure. Most people, when they fail, they quit. Try, fail, quit. Entrepreneurs can't quit. If we quit, we go home and it's over. We have to try, fail, and then try, fail. And then we try, fail, and try, fail. That's 4. And we try, fail, we try, fail, we try, fail, we try, fail. Well, you know how this goes. And then we succeed. That's how we live. Now in corporate America doesn't work that way. In corporate America, failure means that you are a failure and you should go home. But in the world of entrepreneurship, failure is our most important ingredient. One of our most important ingredients. Look at this dude, Thomas Edison, man. He created light. How hard do you think that was? Do you think one day he just woke up and said, man, I'm going to create some light? No, man, he failed. How many times do you think he failed before he did this? And what would have happened to all of us if after the first time he failed, he quit? Should we just turn the lights off? No, man. You have to have a different relationship with failure. Entirely different. This is corporate America. This is how corporate America climbs. They don't climb steep mountains. They don't climb off the path. They climb on the path. They don't like huge obstacles. Their job is iterative. Their job is to find a path and iterate it, to walk along it as many times as efficiently as possible to increase their profit motives. And they do it really well, and that's really cool. This is how entrepreneurs climb. We climb entirely differently. We don't have any ropes, because we're always climbing to something that no one's ever been to. Why would there be ropes? No one's ever been there before. There's no path. Because if we're following someone's path, we're not discovering anything new. We're not being entrepreneurs. So there's no path, there's no ropes. And when we fall, we get hurt. Because we risk everything. And when we fall, it hurts. So there's 3 spots on the mountain. Remember, one of my businesses is called TechNet, and that's where we help young companies become bigger companies. A lot of young companies become great companies. Many of them in the room today. So we use metaphors to help promote us all and teach us all. And the mountain metaphor we use a lot. So here there are 3 places. There's 3 places to be on the mountain. Corporate America walks the left side of the mountain that is not so steep, that doesn't have so many obstacles, that they walk together. They walk in a group. They walk hand in hand. They walk in line. They help each other. If you get into corporate America and you get in line, you'll end up there. Because that's corporate America does, and they do it very, 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 very well. Entrepreneurs climb on this side of the mountain. We climb alone. We climb without ropes. And when we fall, it hurts. The third part of the mountain is down here. This is where most of the world climbs. Whether you're part of corporate America or part of the entrepreneurial journey, most people end up just climbing down here. I call it horizontal climbing, right? I'm sure you've done some horizontal climbing in your life, where you're kind of going up and kind of going down, but you're not really going anywhere because you don't have a destination, you don't have a summit in mind. So while you think you're moving around and you're gaining steam, you're never gaining any altitude. If you want to change this course to this course, you have to have a summit. Entrepreneurs have summits. We know where we're going. We know what we're looking for. We're not just walking around seeing what we'll bump into. We're looking for something really specific. This is a balloon. A blue balloon. I got your attention on that one, man. You must like balloons. Cool. Well, this is another metaphor for how the entrepreneur lives and where the entrepreneur lives. In the middle of this balloon is where most of the world lives. It's where corporate America lives. It's on the path. We like to live together. We like to live in community. we believe there's safety in numbers, so we get close to each other. And this is where most of the world lives and likes to live. The entrepreneur lives out here in this spot on A. Now it's important. The entrepreneur has to live out there because remember, his or her job is to go out where no one is and find things that have not been found yet. You can't find things that have not been found yet if you're walking here. Everyone's already found everything. So we have to live here, the entrepreneurs. But it's a tricky spot to live here because it's very far away from the rest of the world. But also, it's important to see the difference in numbers here. There are only 1% of the population is entrepreneurial. 99% of the world sits here. But it's important that these people live here because these people have a job here. The people on the edge of the balloon, the entrepreneurs, their job is to push the balloon, to stretch the balloon, to make the balloon bigger, to create new things. And when the balloon stretches, there's more room for these people here. So we each have a position in the system. It's neither good nor bad to be in the middle or the outside. What's important is you know where you fit, where you belong on this map. The two other parts are C and B. C is important because C is intrapreneurship. That's entrepreneurship inside of a corporation. Corporations have learned that they need to be entrepreneurial, so they created this space here where intrapreneurship works close to corporate America. And then B is a very important spot. I call it the hump or the tash. As entrepreneurs leave the safety of the center of the world, oddly enough, the people who love us most call us back. Our parents, our boyfriends, our girlfriends, our spouses. They call us back because they don't want us to get hurt. They're like, hey man, don't go way out there, it's scary, don't go there, you know? It's kind of like 3 kids in school, in elementary school, 3 sort of chubby kids, and one kid decides to get really fit, and the other 2 kids are like, hey man, no, don't get fit, don't leave us, stay with us, there's safety in numbers. But no man, we gotta go, we gotta leave here. So it's important that if you're an entrepreneur, understand people are calling you back. And you have to be resolved and say, no man, I can't go back because I don't belong there. So this is an important spot. I call it the hump because once you get past the hump, you can't hear these people. You're free. You're free to go explore your life out here. And that's where an entrepreneur needs to be. This is how Kaufman defines an entrepreneur. I just think it's a bunch of numbers, and we're going to talk about some different things. But there are 2 interesting numbers here. One is this number, and one is this number. The fact that 22.7% of all entrepreneurs are between the ages of 20 and 34 are really important, because entrepreneurs start early and young. We're going to talk about that. Secondly, we have a problem in our entrepreneurial ecosystem. We have too many males that have the power. More women need the power, and more African Americans need the power. In fact, Mountain is heavily involved in helping that change happen. That change needs to happen because the past. This is what the past looked like. This was one of the greatest entrepreneurs of the past, Eli Lilly, great pharmaceutical entrepreneur. I don't think I have a lot in common with this guy. I like these people. These are today's entrepreneurs. They look like you. They look like you. Each person here is worth over $500 million. Each person is under 30. This person started Spotify. When we talk about entrepreneurship, we often talk about this guy, and I think that's a mistake, and I'm not going to get into that. He's a very complicated individual, and trying to emulate a complicated individual is complicated, man. So I think it's important to emulate people that have certain skills that we will need on our journey. That's why I like this guy. He's failed. Back to the beginning. He's failed, but he hasn't given up. He's failed, but he's going to find a way back up those stairs. He hasn't given up. He will not give up. I find myself in that spot so often, and it's a comforting spot. I like to sit there knowing I failed, but knowing I will find a way forward, knowing that I have no clue right now what that path is, but I know if I think long enough, I will eventually find a way forward. And that has to be part of my DNA, or I quit, and my journey's over, and I'm no longer an entrepreneur. Entrepreneurs can't quit. This dude's cool. I like him. You know, I don't like the word entrepreneur very much. I don't think it describes entrepreneurs. I think it was given to us by corporate America because they don't like us. So they gave us a word that's hard to pronounce and has too many letters. What I like is the word innovator or creator, because that's what we do. A person who creates new methods, ideas, and things. I mean, everything about you that's new, your phones, all the technology around you, it was all created by entrepreneurs. Right? It was created by entrepreneurs and iterated by corporate America. This dude's awesome. He's trying something different. He'll be dead in an hour. But man, I'm proud of him. Man, we start fast. Entrepreneurs start faster than anyone. I always say the best way to win a race is start before the guy you're racing. It's really simple. Corporate America starts slow. They need a lot of information, a lot of data before they step into the ring. Problem is, the ring keeps changing nowadays. Everything's moving so fast. We're going to talk about how technology is moving so fast. Corporate America is waiting to get in, but by the time they step in, the game has changed. Entrepreneurs move much quicker. We don't need a full data set to hop in, to get committed. And as a result, we start faster, and that's how we win. This is corporate America versus entrepreneurship. Corporate America is in the back, strong, holding strong against the waves, holding the line, being traditional. But you know what? They're not going to win. Those waves will eventually tear down that lighthouse. That lighthouse can't stand that power. The only way to survive these waves is this way, through courageous creativity, to learn to ride the waves, not stand in front of them. So every day an entrepreneur wakes up, first of all, he has to lift himself, right? He's in charge of his own journey every single day. Corporate America has someone in charge of you every single day. In entrepreneurship, you are in charge of you every single day. And part of your reach, part of your work every single day is to do this. Reach, stretch, and leap. So every day we wake up, we get out of our tent on the mountain, and we go, okay, man, I want to go there. And we're going, how the hell are we going to get there, man? It's far. And we start climbing, and we reach and stretch, and we reach and stretch, and we usually find a spot where we can't quite make the next hold. And that's where we have to leap. And in that moment, some of us fall. But that's what we do every single day. Reach, stretch, and leap. We don't believe in luck. Luck's for losers. The only force that propels an entrepreneur is himself, his drive, her internal force. There is no such thing as luck. We create opportunity out of obstacles. We are not lucky. People call us lucky because they see us and they say, wow, they've got a lot of stuff, so they must be lucky. No, we created opportunity out of obstacles. It wasn't lucky. And we don't follow. We're the big yellow line going the other way. How can we find new things if we're following everybody? We can't. The path is too crowded this way. I have a friend of mine. He was a geology major, and in his 4th year of geology school, he had to go up with all his classmates, and they had to look for rocks in Labrador, close to the Arctic. It's a scary place because there's a lot of polar bears there, and then those polar bears will eat you. They are waiting to eat you. I was just there, and they're scary, man. They're really big and they're really scary. So he was up there with his friends. This is a number of years back now, it's probably 15 years ago. And there were 30 people, and their job was to walk around for 30 days, walk around in the Arctic and look for outcroppings, right? They were explorers looking for opportunity. So they came to the camp the first night, they had a good dinner, and they got prepared, they got their maps, they were told to go out. And then they had 30 days, they would be airdropped food, and then they would come back, and if they found rocks, they would put their own little flag on those rocks, and if those rocks were worth something, because the rocks was a little bit on top and underneath would be a whole vein of something special, they would get 1% of everything. So all 30 people had that dinner, they walked out the door, they had their sleeping bags, they were ready for a month in the field, and 29 people went out the door and turned left. My buddy, he's not a follower. He turned right. And he walked his way alone. The other group knew they were polar bears, so they wanted safety in numbers, man, and they stayed together. Mm-hmm. And guess what? They found nothing. They were chased by bears, but they found nothing. My friend who went the other way, he actually found nothing too. But on the way back, since they left from different directions, they came back from different directions. And when my friend came back, he saw a pile of rocks right behind the camp. He's like, man, that's kind of weird. I'm going to put my flag on that. He bent down, he put his flag on that. And 2 weeks later, the team came back and they analyzed the rocks. And 2 years later, those little pile of rocks was the largest copper mine in the world, Boise's Bay. His share, 1% share, is worth $350 million. Just because he likes to walk alone. So this is how corporate America walks. They walk with compasses and maps. And man, if you get lost with a compass and map, you should be fired. Because it is not hard, man. If you want to go from Dallas to Bismarck and you got a compass and a map, man, you should be there on time. But the problem is, maps are changing. Technology is moving into our world so fast, the minute you look at a map and you glance up to see where you are, you look back at the map's changed, the map's disappearing. So at this point, entrepreneurs are starting to become very useful tools because we succeed very well in these environments. We don't need maps. We just need compasses. We just need guidance. And remember, I said we know what we're looking for. This is what we're looking for. We're looking for pain. We are selling to pain. All successful entrepreneurs sell to pain. Find immeasurable pain, find a solution, put them together, and then you find success. But we look for pain with this very important skill, honest vision. Honest vision is the ability to clearly and calmly analyze a situation, analyze, interpret, and communicate a landscape. The military uses honest vision. If we were in the quad and there was some crazy shooter on the roof, people would be screaming, shooter on the roof, we're all going to die. Military doesn't do that. They go, shooter on the roof, take the shot. There's an honest vision to whatever they see. Entrepreneurs do the same thing. We develop an honest vision so we can look at things without the internal emotion, without guilt, without all these external factors influencing our decision-making process. When we have honest vision, we are the most powerful. But in order to get honest vision, you've got to go through this really odd journey. Aristotle knew the journey. You have to begin to know yourself. You have to know who you are, what you're made of, why you're here. Knowing yourself is the beginning of all wisdom. Here, Aristotle is saying, if you don't know yourself, you can't learn anything. Benjamin Franklin, there are 3 extremely hard things: steel, diamonds, and knowing yourself. These are 2 really smart dudes. Let's just be honest here, okay? We should take a moment to listen to the advice of these 2 men. They're very wise men. And learning yourself is central to be successful as an entrepreneur. So how do you know yourself? Well, it's a long process of answering questions. Answering questions. Why are you here? How do you feel about yourself? What inspires you? What controls you? Do you control the thoughts in your head? When you wake up in the morning, do you control your mood? Do you control what you think? Do you control your body? Are you a master of this thing that you call you? Until you become that person, until you understand yourself, you can't lead others. You can't be an entrepreneur and lead people up a steep-faced cliff like that if you don't know who you are, if you don't know why you're there. You have to spend that time. This is something I spend some time with my entrepreneurs and my mentees. It's a map where we look to see where people's heads are. You know, a lot of people spend a lot of time down here in the dark, in the negative. Yeah. You know, people can get lost in their blue days, lost in the negativity of themselves. I'm sure some of you in this room have felt some of this negativity. I'm sure some of you have maybe been here for a couple days and find it hard to get out of this negativity. You can't lead from this place of negativity. There's no leadership here. You know, there's other spots to the map that are equally dangerous, right? There's the over-optimistic, right? The euphoric. You can't lead from there either. I always say that a good way to get to the euphoric is cocaine, right? Cocaine's awesome, man. It gets you super happy real fast, and it drops you right down here at the bottom of the negative. Those of you laughing have done plenty of cocaine. Okay, good. Those of you not, don't do cocaine, man. That's what it does. It's not good. On the right side is unlikely. A lot of people, their minds are in the unlikely. They spend time worrying about things that will never, ever, ever happen. A lot of people believe they're going to win the lottery, that some magical thing is going to come to their saving grace. It's not going to happen. The other side is the improbable side, things that just aren't true. So, I personally don't believe in God. So I don't believe there's a hell. And it's important that my system knows that. Because if I really thought I was going to hell, that would really hurt me as an entrepreneur. So I have to have those understandings. Because what we want to find is the center of this world. The center of that world is where you can lead from. And it's a pretty awesome place. When you're the best version of yourself, you're probably these things. You're creative, you're calm, you're courageous, you're compassionate, and you're curious. These are the qualities of leadership. These, I believe, are the qualities of entrepreneurship. These are the 4 major ingredients of entrepreneurship. You need 4 things to be successful. You need knowledge. That's what you're doing today. You're gathering knowledge, right, in here, in this journey. You're also gathering network. Some of the people you meet will support you along your journey. You've come here, you've met me, I may support you on your journey. You're eventually going to look for capital. You're in school. You don't need to look for capital. We'll talk about capital another day. But you do need to be looking for this. This is the Superman symbol, or the symbol of self. You got to figure out who you are. Because if you amass this, this, and this, oops. If you amass these 3 things and you don't have self, you don't go up the mountain. I have never met an entrepreneur who failed because he didn't have enough knowledge. I have never met an entrepreneur who failed because he didn't have enough network. And I've never met an entrepreneur who failed because he didn't have enough money. Every entrepreneur that I have met who has failed because he didn't know who he was. So how do you know who you are? I mean, that's hard, right? This is one of my mentees. His name is Mark. He came to Tech Mountain last summer. He's now our global ambassador. Mark's job is threefold. He is traveling the globe in search of tomorrow's technology, the millennial lens, and himself. The millennial lens, because I believe, and we believe, that if you want to find out where the world is going, watch the millennials. Watch you guys. You guys are the future. So I'm intently watching all of you and where you're going. And so is he. But more importantly, while he's on his journey, he's trying to find himself. He is putting himself in self-leadership positions, in difficult positions. He is lifting himself every day. You should check out his blog, thetechlife.com. It's really cool what he's done in a short period of time. He's interviewed some of the greatest technologists in the world. He's been to some of the greatest tech conferences in the world. And he's doing it all himself every single morning. He is waking up and pretending he is the entire advertising staff of the Tech Life. And he goes off and he interviews Brad Smith, the vice president of Microsoft. Right? That takes a lot of guts, man, to do that every single day. I just got off the phone with him last night. He's in Tokyo, where he was trying to interview some very significant technologists in Tokyo, when he suddenly realized, man, none of them speak English. He was devastated. It was so hard. His Tokyo journey was not good. He's in Hong Kong today. But he was able to lift himself up despite all that failure. I listened to him on the phone, and man, was he down. He said, Brett, I woke up in the morning and just stared at the wall and the ceiling. I'm like, what am I doing? Why am I here? This is too hard for me, right? He had that moment of he wanted to quit. He wanted to go home. And hopefully he'll have 10 more. And each time he'll say no. I'm going to stay here. Because that's what the entrepreneur has to learn. That's where he is. Mark is out here. I pushed him out here. I want him to learn what it's like to live out here alone. He's left his family. He's in Tokyo. He's 13 hours away, so he can't talk to anybody. Tokyo's a crazy place if you haven't been there. But it's very easy to feel alone in Tokyo. No one speaks your language, and it's very hard to communicate home. But that's what I want him to experience. What it's like to live on the edge. What it's like to be with himself. You know, he told me, he said, Brett, I've never spent any time with myself. I'm always with my friends at a bar doing something. I never have time alone. Now he has a year. What will happen to him? Check out his website. It's cool what's happened to him already. It's really fantastic. So let's change the metaphor. Let's get off the mountain. Let's go to the beach. Let's see if we can see the same metaphor. Apply it here. It makes sense. We're in Wilmington. Most people who go to the beach don't go to the water, right? They stay on the beach where it's safe. They stay in a pack. Oh, you're one of those people, are you? Yeah, that's it. There you go. This is a nice, happy place, and that's important. Staying on the beach is not a bad place. And when I show you different places on the map, I'm not saying one is good or one is bad. I'm saying figure out what you like. If you like this part of the beach, that's where you should live. This right here is entrepreneurship. People close to the beach. This right here, you can't see where the sharks and the surfers are. That's where the entrepreneurs live. So when these people walk into the beach, they generally approach the waves like this. They walk in. I have a feeling this dude's naked, which I don't recommend, but whatever, man. He's doing what he wants to do. But it's not working out well for him either way, right? He doesn't have a plan, clear, or pants. Entrepreneurs do things entirely differently. We don't just run into the wave with no pants on. We look at where opportunity is coming. We use incredible research, incredible work before we show up to the opportunity. We find out where the opportunity is coming from. We find out that there's waves coming off the cape. We find out where the opportunity is coming from, and then we go meet it. And when we meet the opportunity, we use our honest vision. We sit and we observe. And we say, okay, is what I thought was going to happen actually happening here? And once we believe that the time is right, we start quick. And we go fast into the water alone by ourselves. And unlike the guy at the very beginning who got pummeled by the waves, entrepreneurs, we train, we have tricks, we have skills. We know we're always going to be met by obstacles, so we have skills to get in and around obstacles. So when we get hit by big things, we got little tricks up our sleeves. So we can get past the obstacles, out to the water, where we do the same thing we did at the beginning, which is sit up and wait and watch, and use honest vision to analyze the landscape, to watch the opportunities that are coming to us. We're not creating opportunities, we're watching opportunities flow into us. And when we see the opportunity we want to ride, we paddle into it. We hunt our opportunity. Our opportunity doesn't come to us and crash on us. We go towards it, we hunt it, we ride it. And this, to me, is the greatest picture of entrepreneurship right here, man. This is what we do. It is so awesome. It is so incredible that we are able to create calm out of the chaos of the wave. And the best part is, once we do it once, we kick out, and we get to do it again and again and again. This is my surfboard. This is Castle Branch. I built Castle Branch for over 25 years. I started building it when I was your age, when I was a student in Chapel Hill. It's a pretty cool place. I really love this place. I poured my heart and soul into this place. It's one of my children. The cool thing about owning your own business is you can create a business life that reflects you. You don't have to follow the rules of everyone else, the rules of tradition. Castle Branch is a cool place to live. Oh, wait a minute, that's you. It's a cool place to be. We have an indoor gym. We work just as hard on our bodies as we do our minds. We spend a lot of time learning and talking about the difficult journey we are all on together, and we work at it. What's coolest about Castle Branch, though, is what we do. And what Castle Branch does is manage digital identity for you. What we do currently is manage digital identity for the American healthcare worker. We manage their education records, we manage their employment identity, and we manage their financial identity. And we do it at a time when the millennial population wants to be mobile and want identity products that reflect their lives. So our identity products aren't going to reflect the past. They're going to reflect the future. I would love to talk more about what we're doing, but we're not talking about what we're doing today. We're talking about what you're doing. So I'm going to move on. But the same thing, the same forces that are making what we're doing so exciting, those same forces are in play making your career so exciting. These three words are essential for you. Sudden change is ahead. There is more change in our economic system now than there ever has been in the history of the world. And change is a major ingredient of the entrepreneur because we win in changing environments. When things stay the same, corporate America wins, right? When things are level, corporate America wins. When things start changing fast, when the landscape changes fast, that's when entrepreneurs win. Some people think that the future is going to look like this. I don't agree. This is definitely the future. This is 2030 when 30% of our cars are autonomously being driven. This is the past. This is a machine that was built 15 years ago. This is the future. This is the future I'm excited about. And this is close. This is going to happen in your lifetime, and this is going to create so much change in our economy that it is going to be the most exciting time to be an entrepreneur. So what has technology been doing besides growing faster and faster and faster? And we'll look at Moore's Law in a minute. What it's also been doing is it's been coming closer and closer and closer and closer to us. Technology used to be a computer that was in a room in the university that you had to sign up to go to use. Right? It was 3 miles from your house. Then technology became a desktop that weighed 10,000 pounds that was in your house but could not be moved. And then one day a laptop showed up and computers became portable. They came to school originally, but then teachers freaked out and they were banned. Do you guys remember that? No. Laptops were banned from universities for a period. They were scared of technology. But they've moved from the laptop to your phone, right? Getting closer. Now you're carrying it all the time, right? For a while it was in our glasses. Google Glass tried to bring it right into our face but failed. But that's where we're going. Technology is coming back into our brain. And it's coming there really soon. And it's really going to accelerate the rate of change. As a result, people think that this is coming in our future. And there's a lot of people who are really scared about the future. And if you listen to the politics, there's a lot of people who want to stop the future from coming because they don't like this. They're worried about this. But this isn't coming. This is coming. Really freaking hard waves to surf. And if you're a bad surfer, you're going to get hurt. But society is not going to be annihilated by AI and